Hello, welcome back to X-Plane 11. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. First of all, I think this video is coming out on the 2nd of January 2019. So, hopefully everyone is going to have a fantastic 2019, a happy new year to everybody. And I know for a fact that this is going to be a good year for flight simulation. So I'm definitely looking forward to 2019 in flight simulation overall, not just in X-Plane, but in a few other things that I do know about. Hopefully it's going to be really, really awesome. With that being said, let's get going immediately, and we're going to start by taking a look at another two add-ons today. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to install, and I will be taking a look at what it changes. I'll be taking a look at the MisterX Library and Static Aircraft Extension version 1.61 at time of release, and Airport Environment HD 2.1, both by MisterX6, who is a very, very well-known member of the X-Plane community. He does fantastic work, and I'm going to see if this product, this download, which first of all I think everybody needs to have, but I want to see if these two downloads work together to improve my airports in the UK, coupled with the Orbex scenery and all of that kind of stuff. So, whilst you lot are downloading this, I'm going to roll the intro. Make sure you've downloaded both of these files. I'm going to roll the intro, and we're going to jump into X-Plane 11 and have a look at what Echo Golf November X-Ray, the airport that I fly out from quite often, looks like with the current mods that I have. And then I shall show you how to install this, and we will go back into X-Plane and we're going to see what exactly changes. Make sure you stay tuned for the rest of this video to see one must-have add-on. Okay, so here we are at Echo Golf November X-Ray. As for those of you who have been following me for a long time, you know that I like to fly out of this airport because it's a quieter airport in the Midlands, and it has it's just a nice airport generally to fly out of. It is an international airport, but it's not as busy as Heathrow. Personally, I would prefer to fly out of Heathrow quite often, but the scenery of London, until the Orbex scenery, was pretty heavy. Now I guess I should fly out of Heathrow and into Heathrow more, which is where I used to fly out of. Could also choose Birmingham, but choosing this airport because it's a smaller airport, and I think we can have a good look around and see what has and hasn't changed. Now, one of the things you are going to notice is this weird tiling like this. I don't know what's going on there. I feel like it's a clash between the airport and Orbex scenery currently. If I can figure that out, I am going to work out what it is. But it's odd because over here it's absolutely fine. It's just this area here where, as you can see, it goes a little bit wonky. Now I have a feeling it's got something to do with, actually, now looking at it, it all looks flat. So never mind, I don't think it's... Nope, I can't tell you what it's got, what it is that's causing this. Anyway, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to have a look at the aircraft that are currently here. So we've got a cargo jet aircraft, we've got some of these cargo pallets, we've got one of these, or one, actually we've got a lot of them, we've got a tug, we've got lots and lots of FedEx aircraft over here, as you can see. Loads of FedEx aircraft. So we've got these ones here, we've got these ones, we've got various sizes and various, actually I would say various classes of aircraft, but no, there only seems to be two classes of aircraft over here on the FedEx. If we move further over, in fact, let's have a look. If this is the cargo terminal, by the way, this is supposed to be a DHL. I think DHL uses cargo terminal a lot. On this side, we've got some very standard X-Plane trucks, American trucks. I think one of the things that one of the mods are going to fix, I think the library is going to fix, is these American trucks, or are these American trucks. So we're going to have a look at what it does there. These cars all look fine. We've got... How many types of vehicles do we have? I don't know if it's going to change this. I hope it does, but we shall see. We've got a Volkswagen Passat, Mercedes-Benz. So we've got Mercs, we've got Volkswagens, we've got Volvo XC90s, and oh wait, those aren't Passats, are they? No, that's a Passat. And then yes, we've got Passats and we've got Jettas there, or Boras or Ventos, whatever you want to call them. So that seems to be all the vehicles we have. By the way, this car park looks awesome. This car park actually does look rather awesome. I do wonder though if that's going to be improved further. Let's have a look around the airport at perhaps the ground textures, for example. That's one of the other things that this is what the airport environment one's going to fix. And again, I am going to install both of them and show you how to install them. What we're going to do is we're going to install one at a time, and I'm going to jump into X-Plane every single time so that we can see the differences. Now, looking at this is a decent texture. What I think one of them will be doing, and that's the airport environment one, is it's going to replace this texture and give it a normal map. I think that's going to look really awesome. I'm going to fiddle around with the time of day, and we're going to have a look around as well to see how time of day affects this. So we're going to do that in a moment once we've had a look at everything. Donington Racetrack over there. That's another reason why I like this airport, because I like flying in over a racetrack. These aircraft seem to make sense. That Delta aircraft does not. I have no idea what type of aircraft, or not, correction, not what type of aircraft. I have no idea what operator this is. It just says welcome. I've never seen this operator in my life. So Delta, that aircraft probably should not be here. We've got the Air Berlin. That aircraft can be there, although I think they've gone bankrupt. US Airways, probably not. That doesn't fly in here. Austrian Airways, that shouldn't fly in here. That Delta, again, that one, I don't know. Alitalia, maybe they would fly in with this aircraft. I doubt it, though. Air Canada, again, they wouldn't land here. US Airways, Alitalia. Okay, so we have a few. We've got a couple of general aviation aircraft too over there, and then we've got a few more FedEx aircraft, which, by the way, I have never seen a FedEx at this airport. That being said, I've only been to this airport a few times, so maybe I've missed them. Nevertheless, that is what we currently have. Let's have a look at the control tower. Everything seems pretty normal there. I just want to have a look at as much as I can to see what's going to change, because there are lots of static objects that are going to change, so we want to try and figure out all the ones that we're looking at and see what changes. Okay, these just look bog standard, so maybe that will change. Now, if I remember correctly, there is a crashed aircraft or the wreckage of an aircraft somewhere here. In fact, it might be here somewhere. That isn't. There it is. There it is. There's a wreckage of an aircraft there. Now, I wonder if it's going to add that in with the static aircraft. It might not, but I know that it gives us an option. Maybe someone could add that to the scenery for this particular airport. By the way, Orbeck scenery, absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend it. But that's not what we're here to do and what we're here to talk about. Let's have a look at the runways. We've got 27. Let's go over to this side, actually, because this one brings up an important point. And I've noticed this, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Now, if we have a look at this runway, it just says 9. Now, that is not how runway markings are written in the UK. That runway would be written 09 in the UK. So, one of the things that is going to change is it's going to change that to 09, which I'm looking forward to seeing. Also, having a look at the textures. The textures aren't bad. Having a look at them, they're actually pretty good. But I'm wondering how they are further going to be improved. But having a look at that, the textures don't look terrible whatsoever. I'm actually fairly impressed with the texture overall, texture sets. They're pretty high quality, I think. So there is that. Let's see, what else is there? There's these. Maybe these could be improved. I wonder if it improves them. They seem to get blurry pretty quickly. So let's remember sort of the spot where we had a look at that. So we'll maybe go over here and we'll start zooming into this and seeing what it's like. So when it fills up the screen, it's ridiculously blurry. So maybe that's something that's going to be improved. And it's just these little things that I think are going to make this look so much better. Now, let's have a look through the daytime. Let's change the time of day. So it's sort of early morning now. We've got some lighting up. Lovely. That's looking pretty good. Not a lot of lighting. Again, things look alright. This is where I think the normal maps are going to come in handy. Let's go to sort of a very low. Oh, that looks beautiful, doesn't it? Sometimes you have to you look at X-Plane and you just think to yourself, wow. You really do think to yourself, wow. But having a look at that, there doesn't seem to be any reflections on the ground or anything from the sun at all. Yes, admittedly the sun is sort of hidden. I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll have it go over the other side. Let's have a look at it at night though, first of all. So that's it at night. Got all these aircraft with their nav lights on, dynamic reflections on these aircraft, which is lovely. Really nice to see the dynamic reflections now in X-Plane 11. Lights there, everything looks sort of just, it looks okay. It looks, in fact, it looks pretty good. I will say it looks pretty good. Nothing here looks terrible at all. It really does look good. But this is the important part. We need to be able to see what it looks like currently and then see what it looks like after that. So you've got all of these, all with their lights on, all waiting to go. Runway seems to be lit up well. Markings are all fine. We'll go back to daytime in a minute just to check the markings. But let's go to the point where the sun is not overhead, but setting like that or something. Here we go. Again, I think maybe this could be improved. This looks very dull, and I think that might be one of the things that's being improved. And then finally, let's just have a quick look at the runway markings, which, by the way, if you look closely, you can see the runway markings just there from what Orbex is picking up. So there is a slight discrepancy there. Can you see it? There is a very slight discrepancy, which I'm looking to see if there is a way to potentially fix. But looking at the runway markings again, a slightly lower resolution here than these. These seem to be a higher resolution, but overall they're fairly good. Again, you can't really see cracks or anything on the runway. It doesn't look like it's cracked. It does look very much like a texture. And these are pretty low resolution, so I'm hoping that those are fixed. So what we're going to do is we're going to install these static objects first, and then we're going to come back into this, and we're going to see what has changed. By the way, even though whether or not we see a lot of changes, I highly recommend this add-on anyway. I know what it can do. It's just I want to see what it does over here to one of the airports that I like to fly in and out of. So let's jump out of X-Plane and let's get this installed. Okay, so once you've got these downloaded, which you already should have now, all you need to do is unzip both of them in the directory of your choice. Then on the X-Plane 11 directory, we need to go into custom scenery, and what we need to do. Now I'm going to show you how to do both right now, but we're going to have a look at one at a time. What you need to do, and this is kind of really important, is with this one, make sure it's not got the _1.61. Go in there and find this folder here. all you need to do is copy that folder or cut that folder and place it in custom scenery. Okay, it's a 1.22 gigabyte move. Now with the airport environment, in fact, I'll show you the airport environment afterwards, because as you can see, it's a little bit different. It is a little bit different. So we are going to have to work upon that. So once we've moved this across, I'm going to show you one of these files. So we've got the file here. This is the scenerypacks.ini. You will find that file in the custom scenery at the bottom. Open it in your favorite text editor. I highly recommend Notepad++. Now, before you start this, there are two ways to do this. If you start up X-Plane 11, it will see the scenery and it will put it in. It will normally put it in up there at the top of the pack. What we want to do is we want to put it in the correct place, and that's where libraries go. Now for me, I believe that the libraries go over here. So it's going to be underneath this Orbex one for me. So that's near the SimHeaven one. So what I've got is I've got the aircraft up here. See, landmarks here. I think that's one. I'm going to move there first of all. That one was installed. That was newly installed by X-Plane. So I'm moving that down. I'm having airports at the top. Then we've got landmarks and we've got the scenery stuff. Then we've got our sort of libraries and ortho scenery, and then we've got our meshes at the bottom. So I'm going to put it here. So all I'm going to write is I'm going to write scenery underscore pack, like so. I'm going to write custom scenery slash. So that's what we're looking at here. This folder here, custom scenery slash, and then, and I've shown you this before when we were doing the VFR London one. All we need to do is we need to grab that, we'll press F2, we'll copy that name, we'll just pop it in there. Done. That's all we need to do on this. Now, we're going to go back into X-Plane, not Steam, and see what has changed. Okay, so we are back, and with the add-ons installed, let's have a look at what is different. So this is the library. Now the biggest change I think we're going to see here is higher quality objects. So I think these are just higher quality. It says Laminar Research on it. I just think these are going to all be higher quality. So these have all been improved as far as I know. I'm not entirely certain. And then out here we haven't had any changes, sadly, on this. Maybe the airport environment one will change these trucks. What are these? I have no idea. So maybe, like I said, airport environment, HD, whatever it is, will change that. These look different, I think. There's also a house sticking between it. I guess that's a clash with Orbex. So they look slightly different. But the biggest change that I can see, and again, I am going to point out that this is not just a library for airports. It does a lot more than that. It's harbours, it's vehicles, it's other scenery. There is a lot going on, so you can have a look at the website, at the link, and you'll see the changes. But one thing that I am rather happy about is this. DHL aircraft. We've still got some FedExes, but also on top of that, you might notice the quality difference, and that's something. These might be different too. No, these are just default. You will notice some quality differences though, and this is where it's really important. I think that this the amounts of detail that this increases with almost no change in FPS as far as I can tell is lovely. Look at how much we can zoom in on these aircraft. Yes, admittedly not a huge amount, but still a fair amount, as opposed to, for example, that one. Look at this one. Look at that one. And then look at that one behind. Look at the quality difference of these FedEx aircraft. In fact, those two are probably the best examples. This one is one example, looking at that. But that's one there, and that's one there. That's default. That's the MisterX library, and he's always working upon it, always continuing to work upon it. So that's awesome. And then we've got the cargo jet. Now I hope that there's a way to get rid of these. I really hope there's a way to get rid of them. In terms of any other things that have changed, that looks the same. This looks like it's changed. I will admit, that looks like it's changed. There is the crashed jet, wherever it's supposed to be sitting, there is not there for the training. So that's not a problem. I'm sure that somebody can then add that on. Also, I don't know whether these have changed, these tops of these buildings. I doubt it, but you never know. You really don't know. But the biggest thing, as I said, is the aircraft. The amount of aircraft that now we have available and that spawn in. So we've got United here. We've got Austrian Arrows. And then we've got Aero Mexico. You can tell which one of those is a default and which one is not. Or which ones are not. We've got the American there. We've got Korean Air there. We've got KLM. That's awesome to see. It's really awesome to see an aircraft like this. And it does change how, you know, looking at 737 right here, it changes, it just gives a different dimension to the airport. It makes it more realistic instead of just seeing one or two aircraft types. We've got this Air France right here. We've got over here we've got these aircraft like this, and I hope that there's a way to change these out. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have a look. Is there anything else that's changed through this? I don't think so. I really don't. And some of these aircraft have got dynamic reflections too. So if we, for example, go over to nighttime, you will see that some do and some do not, sadly. No, not quite there. Okay, I suppose that kind of darkness will do. So you can see over here, the KLM one seems to have it. That one seems to have it. This one seems to have it as well. Going up that way, though, that DHL does not. I don't think. Or one of these DHLs do not. Yes, I think this one. This one here does not seem to have it, whilst this one does. So, you know, it is different, and there are changes, and that's just because of the models. The models are slightly different, but everything is a little bit improved. Look at that. They look improved. That's definitely improved. In fact, you can tell that this is a newer aircraft because I don't think there's any aircraft in X-Plane that was static aircraft, that is, in X-Plane that had scimitar wings. And look, this has got the scimitar wings, this 7.3. So it's really, really awesome to see. And of course, we could reload this a few times and see things looking a little bit different. So we do have that. So that's the changes I can see at this airport. There doesn't seem to be anything else. But as I said, I think the Airport Environment X, or what is it, Airport Environment HD? I think it's Airport Environment HD. We'll see to some of the other changes. This is still really important. It's really still quite something. In fact, there is another change. Look at this tarmac. It's no longer got those weird texture. Oh no, it does. They're there. So it hasn't quite changed that out. But this tarmac does look like a different texture. So maybe they have made some changes on that. But I think it's the airport HD one. That's Airport Environment HD, whatever it's called. That's going to make most of the changes. So let's jump out of X-Plane once again, and then into the installation, and then we'll come back to X-Plane. Okay, so for the Airport Environment HD 2.1, we need to change how we install a few things. So we've got, it's got a README, by the way. You can follow the README. I'm going to do it in the exact same way, pretty much. What we're going to do is, the first thing we need to do is change the textures. So to change the textures, we do not go into custom scenery. We're going to go into resources. We're going to go into bitmaps, and we're going to go to runways. I think that's where we've got the textures being changed. So that's the first thing we're going to do. And if we go to runways, you can see here we've got all of the same things, or most of the same things there. All we're going to do is we're going to copy this lot and paste it in there. Overwrite all. Job done. Then we're going to do the European one if we're in Europe, and we're going to grab those two, and we're going to go in here, and we're going to do that, and we're going to override those. So that's overwritten. Lovely. Then we're going to go to the scenery library. So we get out of this. Again, if you're not in Europe and you do mostly in America, I assume you don't need to do this option part 1.5. We go to custom scenery, and of course we want to take this one here, this folder here. We're going to copy that, and we're going to place that in there, like so. Once we've done that, you've guessed it, we're going to do this. We're going to open this up. Now there you go, look, it's put the MisterX library up there for some bizarre reason. I'm going to move that down back to where I think it should go. In fact, with that being said, I suppose we shouldn't do this until afterwards, but I would put the scenery pack custom scenery slash what is it called, Airport Environment HD, just like that. And I would want to put that probably underneath global airports. So we're going to have a look at what this changes. By the way, if you want to have more of a look at what's included in these libraries, do just take a look inside. It's not just the airport, but you can see here we've got boats, we've got buses, we've got cars. So there you go, look, more cars. That's why I thought it was going to change the cars, but it seems like it hasn't quite done that yet. Or it hasn't worked in Britain, which is the whole idea. Trucks as well. I did think it was going to give us some more trucks instead of just the Peterbilt, but it seems that hasn't quite turned out so well either. So we're going to have a look. There's so much available. Maybe it doesn't, like I said, maybe it doesn't use all of them. Maybe not all of these are actually being used. And then of course we do have ground markings, lights, things like that that can be used. I have a feeling that there was a few things that it has added up. There were some things that it has added and put in the airport. Like I said, those markings on the road for vehicles to drive around, that kind of stuff wasn't there before. I'm pretty sure the windstock has changed. I'm pretty sure there were a few changes to airport, the sort of the airport objects. I think they were changed. But anyway, what we're going to do now is that we've put this in, not this one, this one, and you can see this is going to change a lot. Maybe this one's got everything we need. Who knows? What we're going to do is we are going to... This is Europe. I have no idea what... Okay. We're going to go into Explain again, and we're going to see this time, hopefully, a lot has changed. Okay, here we are with Airport Environment HD, or I think it's called Airport Environment HD installed. I've already forgotten the name, and my word, has it changed things. Now we are talking. This is a big look at that. Look at that difference on the apron and the taxiways. Look at the taxiway. That is fantastically put together. That's really changes a lot over here. And again, with the extra scenery. Oh look, there's a DHL aircraft again. Unfortunately with the an American plate, but still, with the library, the scenery library, coupled with this is an immediate change. In fact, looking at this, maybe this is the one that's going to change our scenery. I'm going to go over towards this side and see what I can find on the trucks. And there we have it. It's actually this one that changes the trucks. So now we've got British, or, well, I say British, not exactly British, more German, but still, that's the kind of truck we would see in the UK. This is the kind of things we would expect. That's correct. We could do it with more, maybe Eddie Stobart or things like that, but still, really, really impressive. Cars have not changed. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, cars have not changed. I thought I saw a different vehicle there. Maybe on the roads. Have cars changed on the roads? No. No. Probably best off going to the motorway for this. Again, this is looking at the other part, which is the airport scenery. Not the airport scenery, sorry, the library, the MisterX library. Well, those two are nose to tail. I suppose we've got more vehicles now, more variety of vehicles. But hey, it's not a vehicle simulator. It isn't a vehicle simulator. What I'm going to say though is that the runway that's amazingly good. Before I thought the quality of the taxiway markings were good. Now the quality of the taxiway markings are just perfect. They look used. This looks like an airport that's actually... Yeah, this looks like an airport that actually has aircraft coming in and out, day in, day out. That's brilliantly done. That really is. And I want to go see Runway 9. I want to go see the markings for this. I know there's something else I need to change or check. And I also know that we need to check a few other bits and bobs, like daytime and nighttime and stuff like that. Well, we're already in daytime. There you go. 09. That's how I expect it. This is brilliant. This really is brilliant. Also, oh no, that was the one that had the bug. Let's go over here. I feel like there's a lot that's changed on this airport. Have these changed? I think they might have changed as well. They look smaller. I don't know if that's just me, but they look smaller. Well, we'll find out. Where were we looking? I think it was here. Yep, it was here. So we sort of stuck ourselves about here, and then we zoomed into this. Much better quality. That's a lot better quality. Although the H seems to be a better quality and the 7 seems to be a better quality, the worst seems to be the 2s. The number 2 seems to be the worst quality, but excuse me a minute. Taking a look at that, there we go. Taking a look at that, that is improved in quality, I think. So when because at this point we could see the resolution starting to blur out because of the low resolution. Now it does it about there. So impressive. Very, very impressive. Yeah, so it's about... I think that is definitely improved. Or that has definitely improved. Let's use some proper grammar there. Anything else about this that I can see a change in? I think the airport just looks better. I'm not sure about this texture replacement. That's the one texture replacement I am not sure about, as you can see. So if I had a gripe, a complaint, it's going to be that one. Let's go to different times of day to have a look at what it looks like. So we've got a... Oh, that's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do either. Stop pressing weird buttons. Right. Let's go back to where we were. This looks a lot better with the also, as I said, just having different, instead of all this being FedEx, we've got DHL, UPS, FedEx, DHL, FedEx, UPS, and then whatever that one is, that weird air cargo one. It's just better. Right. Which way is the sun gone? I want you to go this way. Reflections. Look at that. That was not there before. Those reflections were not there before. There you have it. There is definitely improvements upon that. Yep, look. Look at these reflections that we have. You can see them clearly there. Look. That really does bring this to life in a different way. Let's have a look at these little objects here. These look the same. Yeah, they look the same. They don't look like anything's changed. I do think these ones have changed, but I'm not sure. And then the main ones on the side of the runway, they look... Oh, I don't even know now. That's the city of Nottingham out that way, by the way. City of Derby out that way. City of Leicester out that way. And then, well, somewhere out that way is probably Birmingham. Anyway. That's actually... I'm really quite pleased with the way that's changed the graphics, or just changed this, the way the airport is, full stop. Let's try and find a really good screenshot to take of this. And I do wonder what would happen. For example, if I reload this airport, which I don't generally know how to do, so I'm just going to say change location and reload. We'll start a new flight. Is there a button to reload flight? I guess we don't need to reload the flight. There we go. It'll change the aircraft again. And there you go. That's a lot better. Now we're seeing Air France as well. Virgin America maybe not, but Air France we're seeing. Alitalia, a different type of Alitalia. Eurowings, that makes sense to me. UPS, I guess, yeah, that does make sense. I have seen UPS come into this before. FedEx is the only one that I'm a little bit curious about, and Alaska Air Cargo. I'm not sure how that pans into all of this, but we are looking at this is a big change. This really is a big change from what we had before. Just as an extra, I thought I'd take a look at Heathrow Airport before we finish. And a few things I want to point out. First of all, not quite perfect, but I think that it's close to perfect. The runways look awesome all the way down. And of course, there's Wembley Stadium, by the way, and central London. But there is something I want to show you in a moment. Yeah, it still looks pretty good. And this is what I want to show you. Let's go back into a little bit of daytime like this. I was talking about what aircraft go where, and this is really cool. So first of all, it's lovely to see so many different aircraft types, and I think this is also amazing. I think this is showing the differences with the MisterX, the library, more than anything. Yeah, because these are all new, so it's actually showing the library off more. So that's why I wanted to include this at the end. So we've got American, we've got the old American one. I think that's the default one, right? Yeah, I think that's default, whilst this is not. But look at what we have. That United one's definitely default. That needs to go. Japan, Virgin Atlantic, Delta, Air New Zealand, British Airways, Cathay. Japan, again, United, All Nippon Airways. We've got Lufthansa, Air New Zealand, Emirates, Virgin Atlantic, and then this part. This is the one I really want to show you guys, because we've got an entire airport full, of course. Even down that side, you can see there's an A380, BA A380 just parks up there. But it's this side I want to show you, and this makes it worth downloading, in my opinion, immediately. Look at that. The British Airways terminals are full of British Airways aircraft. That is amazing. That is right there. That is all. If you want realism, if they've got that at London Heathrow, you're going to have it at many of the major airports. I think Los Angeles is going to have the right ones. Gatwick probably has it. In fact, we might do a flyover to Gatwick in another video and have a look. But look at this. We've got British Airways there. We've got a British Airways there. There. They're all different models as well, not just the same model over and over. Look, all the way along there. All of these. All the way across there. The only thing I'm going to say is, I can't see a jumbo jet. And British Airways do have jumbo jets. I love seeing them come into land. I love seeing their jumbo jets. They're brilliant. But that is really awesome. Only you are ruining everything. But aside from that, look at the amount of British Airways aircraft. It's just... that's perfect. That really is perfect. And maybe, just maybe, that shows off this scenery better than... I think maybe better than anything. So that's perhaps where I'm going to end it. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on X-Plane 11. By the way, those tanks are also new. They look new as well. So that's something that's changed. That's changed. Those have changed. Those have changed. So that's what the library has brought in. And then, of course, we've got the airport textures looking absolutely incredible. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think about this. Support me on Patreon if you can. www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. Also, follow me on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/ecgadget, and you can find me on social media at ecgadgetlp for both Twitter and Instagram. I really don't know where to start with screenshots of this. I really don't know. But anyway, that's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time in X-Plane 11, where, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess you'll just have to wait and find out.